We are living in a truly revolutionary age in guitar tone. You've heard a lot of people say over the past few years that it has never been a better time to be a guitar player, and I absolutely agree with that. Between the quality of affordable gear being at its highest right now, the advancements in things like IRs and amp sims and all that, I mean, it is truly just beyond comparison to anything that was around 10, 20 years ago. Speaking of advancements in technology, one thing that really comes to mind is NAMM, the Neural Amp Modeler. This is an open source like tone library that anybody can create their own tone and upload it to tone3000.com, which I have a link in the description if you want to check that out. You can download those, put them straight into the Neural Amp Modeler program, or NAMM as I'll refer to it through the rest of the video, and immediately get incredible tones if they're done correctly. And with something like NAMM, you can do things like make just an amp sound, so an amp sim, right? Get a capture of an amp. Or just make an IR like traditionally, you know? Or you can make an entire rig in one, so it is literally plug and play. And with the introduction of NAMM, there was the idea that you could take those NAMM models and put them into a pedal. So there were talks of making a NAMM pedal so you can have it on your pedal board or take it on the road with you. And that idea was really, really cool. But unfortunately, the NAMM pedal, to my knowledge, never came to light. And that disappointed a lot of guitar players, me included. That is until today. Because a brand that you may or may not have heard of and have definitely seen on this channel before, Sonicake, has solved that issue with this little guy right here, the Sonicake Pocket Master. What's even better about this, aside from the fact that it is very, very small, compact, and built very well, this thing will only run you about $70, well under $100. And it comes jam-packed with a lot of stuff on its own. But on top of that, those aforementioned NAMM models, you can load those directly into the Pocket Master and take them wherever you go. So we're gonna go through the Sonicake Pocket Master together, some of the features, we'll demo some of the stock tones that you get because they're all great, show you how to load in those NAMM models, and try to convince you that this really is the best piece of guitar gear that you can get in 2025. So first and foremost, Sonicake is sponsoring this video. They did send the Pocket Master for me to check out with you guys, so thank you very much, Sonicake, for doing that. There are links in the description as always, and I highly encourage you to click on that link and try to get one of these while you can, because these things are selling like hotcakes because they are just so good and so affordable. And while you're down there in the description, please make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification, the like button, leave me a comment, do all the good YouTube stuff. It really, really helps me out. With all of that out of the way, let's talk more about the Pocket Master itself. So the Sonicake Pocket Master is right in the name, based on portability. It can literally fit right in your pocket. Something else that's cool is that you do get this detachable clip, which it does not come attached straight out of the box, but I did put on here just to show you. 2 little screws, put it on there and it can clip in your pocket, on your belt loop, on your bag, wherever you wanna put this thing, making it that much more portable. This is a multi-effects processor. It's got things like Bluetooth built into it. You can edit your signal chains, move the pedals around, all that kind of stuff. Everything that's in here pretty much can be edited right at your fingertips. One thing that I will encourage you to do when you get the Pocket Master, the very first thing that you should do, hop on your computer, go to Sonicake's website, and download the Sonicake Manager app. You're gonna need that for 2 reasons. One, you need to update the firmware on this thing. Make sure you keep the firmware updated on this so it functions properly. And 2, you're gonna need to do that anyway if you wanna put those NAMM models that we were talking about earlier onto the Pocket Master. So just looking at the Sonicake Pocket Master really quickly too, very, very simple layout here. You have one knob here that is also a button. You have 2 little foot pedals down here. Up at the top, you have very simple ports here as well. You're in where you plug in your guitar, you're out, which is a headphone port, but you can also plug it into things like a DAW, things like that, record straight out. And then you have 2 USB-C ports here. One is for data transfer, one is for charging. To turn on the Sonicake Pocket Master, you just hold that knob right there and it should power on. It'll ask you if you want to power it on after you update the firmware, but after you do that, it will turn right on. When you turn on the Pocket Master, this should be the screen that you see. This will be like your main screen, right? From here, you can do a couple of different things. You can change the volume, you can change your preset that you're on, and you can enable your Bluetooth. You also have a battery indicator up there. You have a little list down here of all the effects and your signal chain, essentially, right? For it to be such a small screen, it is nice and colorful and vivid and easy to read. So if you look at this really quickly, if you look up by the volume indicator, you'll see a nice little yellow triangle right there, a little yellow arrow. That's important. You need to pay attention to where that is on the screen. You can change it around by clicking the button. You'll see that now P01 on the screen is now lit up with that yellow arrow. That means that if I turn the knob, I can change between my presets. If you click it again, it will go up to Bluetooth, so you can turn the knob once to engage the Bluetooth. If you click it again, it will go back to controlling your volume. The way that I generally like to do it is to keep it on the volume so you have that knob available to turn things up and down as need be, and then you can use both of these little foot pedals down here to switch between your presets. If you press both of them at the same time from this main screen, you will engage your built-in tuner. Now there is another menu to get into here. If you hold down the button, you'll see this little menu come up here. From there you can go in and edit your effects, your settings, you have a built-in drum machine, and if you want to shut down the unit, you just scroll over to shut down, click the button up here, and it will turn the unit off. So let's say you're in something like settings and you want to get back to the main screen. How do you do that? Just click both of the foot pedals at the bottom and it'll take you back to your main screen. So all in all, the Sonicake Pocket Master is very user-friendly, very easy to use, and I could not be more happy with it. Now we talked a lot about functionality. Let's go ahead and plug this thing in and see what some of these stock presets sound like. So as you can tell, a lot of them sound really, really good. Now, obviously, opinions are different. Your tastes may vary depending on what you'll use. But again, you can edit all of these effects to your heart's content straight from the unit itself. You can even take things like the pedal order and move them around to your heart's content. Now let's go ahead and talk about getting those NAMM models loaded on to the Sonicake Pocket Master. All right, so now I'm going to show you how to download the Sonicake Manager app and update the firmware on your Pocket Master so you can start loading those NAMM models. So first and foremost, there's a link in the description to this listing right here. You need to go to Sonicake's website, specifically, I know I don't have a lot of storage, specifically the listing for the Pocket Master. You want to scroll down here and you're going to download two things. First and foremost, either one of these, whichever one you have for Mac or Windows. I have Windows, so you download that. It will be a zip file. Unzip it, install the Sonicake Manager app. Nice and easy. Then you want to come down here to one of these firmwares. You need at least 1.0.2, but obviously we have a newer one than that, 1.2.2. Download that, same thing. It will be a zip file. Unzip that and reference where that folder is, because when you come over to the Sonicake Manager app and you have the Sonicake Pocket Master plugged in and on, you will get this tab right here, the firmware upgrade. So now you need to go where you unzipped the firmware update and look for the .bin folder. So you can click this folder right here, load up that .bin, hit update now, and leave it alone for a few minutes. It will update, and then you'll be good to go. So after you do the firmware update, you want to go up to File Manage. So this is where you can start to mess around with loading in tones and all that kind of stuff. So Preset Manage obviously is all of your presets. So here's all 50 of them right there. Clone Manage is where we're going to put those NAMM models in. And then User IRs, you can do IR Manage and load in your own personal IRs. So with Clone Manage, this is where you're going to put those NAMM models. You want to go to this website right here or any of these other websites where you can get these NAMM profiles, and there you go. Now, a bit of a note about this. So you have something like this, an amp head capture. So this is literally just an amp sim. There's no cabinet, no pedals. There might be some pedals in there, but it doesn't say. But at the end of the day, it's just an amp head capture. You don't want to do that, and I'll show you why in just a second. You want to look for full rigs or combo captures, something that has the speaker emulation built into it already.
Fortunately, I have a mix of a bunch of these, and the two that I currently have loaded in here are to show you why you want the full rig versus just the amp head. Some of you probably already know where I'm going with this, but again, I already know what you're thinking, and I'm going to show you why this one is just not going to work, at least on the current firmware. All right, so once you have your NAMM model loaded into the Pocket Master, everything's updated, you should be good to go. Here's how you access that NAMM model. So first and foremost, we're going to use this preset right here as an example. It should be the same on every one, P23 heavy core. This is what it sounds like stock, just for reference. Sounds pretty good on its own. But here's what we're going to do. All right, so once you have the NAMM model loaded in there, you're going to want to hold down the switch there. Then you want to go to effects, which, if we can get that to focus again, is the very first option. So you select that, and then you'll be brought to your effects chain, essentially. What you want to do now is you want to go over here on the Pocket Master to your amp settings. Okay. Then you want to come up to the knob. You want to turn it all the way to the right. You'll see it says basic mode. If you click the button and then go to clone mode, that will now load up your NAMM capture, or your NAMM model, NAMM profile, whatever you want to call it. You guys know what I mean. So now you see I have the Friedman. This is the Friedman one that I showed you earlier. This is the first one, and this is what that sounds like after you've loaded it up. Sorry, my pots are a little scratchy, but you get the point. It sounds really, really nice. Now, you notice I had the other one on there. This is an Engel iron ball. So if you click that, you'll see it turns yellow or orange or whatever. This is an Engel iron ball. And again, this is just the amp head. This is what that sounds like. Right, so not good at all. That's because there is no cab simulation on it. And I know what you're saying. Well, why don't you just do the cab simulation? Well, when you go into clone mode up there, if you click this down here, you'll notice right here, this is where you would change your IR setting. It is canceled out. You cannot update the cab IR while you're in clone mode. Why is this a thing? I don't know. But you can see it in action here. If you go over here, change that. I know it's blurred, but whatever. There you go. Now you see the IR mode right there is uncanceled, if you will. So that's why I suggest when you go into here, you try to find something that is a full rig. So if it sounds good in the NAMM profiler on the computer in your DAW or something like that, I promise you it will sound exactly the same on the Pocket Master, much as this Friedman one does here. And it's really that simple, folks. It is a great, great little tool to have literally right in your pocket, as the name suggests.
So price, check. Quality, check. Sound quality, check. The ability, that's 4, but I can't do my thumb that way. The ability to upload NAMM models and have them on the go, check, check, check. This thing ticks all the boxes of a great, affordable piece of gear. And the internet agrees. A lot of people that have reviewed this have said the same thing. It is an incredible piece of gear. Super compact, super portable, sounds great, good battery life, ease of access, user functionality, uploading things is a breeze, updating the firmware is a breeze. The program, the Sonicake Manager, is nice and simple. I mean, there's just, you can't complain about this thing. You just can't. They're so cool. And for well under $100, $65, $70, something like that, there's really no excuse not to have one of these kicking around. And really, if you wanted to, when they come back in stock, because as you've seen, as of recording this video, they are out of stock on Sonicake's website. But that will probably change, because I know from sources that they are bringing them back in stock, so from Sonicake. But yeah, I mean, this is a great piece of gear. There's really no excuse not to own one of these. And what's cool about it is, I didn't really mention this before, there are bass presets. So you can upload bass NAMM models, which they do exist, into this thing. So bass players, guitar players, it's made for everybody. It's all inclusive. It's so cool, and you can record with it. You can travel with it. I don't know what else I can say about it. I can tout on this thing all day long. It sounds great. It's built well. The functionality is there. It's just one of those really perfect pieces of gear. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for, is perfect. Because it really is. It's hard to find a flaw in this. It really is. So I hope that I've maybe convinced you to go and sell these things out again, because they deserve it. They deserve to be out of stock because they are just fantastic and everybody should have one. So thank you very much, Sonicake, for sending the Pocket Master out for us to check out together. Thank you very much for just making the product and appeasing a lot of guitar players' needs and just appealing to everybody, bass players included. We'll include you in this one. But thank you very much for checking out this video. I hope you found it informative, and I hope that helped you make an informed decision on whether or not you should buy one of these. The answer is yes, if you're still thinking on it. Make sure you subscribe, check the links in the description, leave me a comment and tell me if this video helped you, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.